Since Hawkmoon came back into the Destiny world, I've been absolutely obsessed with this gun. The incredible aim assist stat makes it feel so forgiving and easy to land headshots, and the paracausal shot perk allows you to win those 1vx situations consistently if you can land your shots. To me, it's the perfect combination of rewarding both precision in your shots and situational awareness when paying attention to how many bullets you've spent so that you can land that huge damage hit on the final round. I've come up with a hunter build that I think capitalizes on a lot of Hawkmoon's strengths while also shoring up some of its weaknesses, and I'm having more fun with this build than I have with any primary weapon in a long time in Destiny. So the way I want to structure this video is to first show you the build, and then I'll explain how I like to play with it and give you some tips and gameplay examples. I'm going to cover the PvP focus setup first, and then at the end I'll share a way to turn this into a really fun PvE build as well. So starting with the kinetic slot, I'm using the new exotic hand cannon Hawkmoon. If you don't have this one yet, the quest is pretty easy and it really doesn't take that long to do. Currently, I just have the stock roll where we're missing that middle perk, and this build will only get stronger once we're able to farm for specific rolls to improve the gun. The roll I'm looking for personally would be any of the barrel options that improve range, ideally getting Hammerforge rifling since it improves the range without any of the downsides, and then either rangefinder or opening shot for the middle perk, and smooth grip or polymer grip for the grip slot. For our energy weapon, I'm using the Felwinter's Lie, arguably the best shotgun in the game. If you don't have the shotgun, I would recommend either the 7th Seraph CQC or First In Last Out the Slug shotgun for power enabled playlists like Iron Banner or Trials of Osiris. And then for regular PvP where your level doesn't matter, I still think that Mindbender's Ambition is a top pick if you happen to have a decent one. And for new players who might not have any of these options, the blue shotgun Botheration is still really strong if you can get one in the energy slot, and then the white gun Stubborn Oak is also surprisingly good for PvP. For your heavy slot, you can really use anything you want here. I've typically been using the new raid machine gun Commemoration, but really anything that you like best works for this slot. Where this build really starts to shine is that new Hunter exotic helmet Mask of Bakris. The more I use this exotic, the more I'm starting to fall in love with it. It replaces your dodge with a fairly long range teleport that can be directionally controlled. The amount of crazy outplays you can do with this exotic is just mind blowing. I'm consistently winning engagements by throwing off opponents with the movement that this helmet provides. I think it's clearly a top pick for Hunter. The only real downsides are that it increases your dodge cooldown by quite a bit, but I think it's a fair compromise to balance it out, considering how effective that improved teleport is. And you also need to run a stasis subclass for this helmet to work properly, which isn't a problem since we're on the Revenant Hunter. More on that in a minute. If you don't have this helmet yet, it's really not too hard to farm it. You just need to wait until either of the daily lost sectors are dropping exotic helmets, and then run it enough times until you get lucky. I have guides on each of the 5 lost sectors in a YouTube playlist that I'll link in the description as well as on screen here. For the rest of our armor, here's how I have it set up. First of all, don't pay too much attention to my current stats. This is a work in progress for me, and I really need to farm a better helmet roll before I can get the stats that I want. Ideally, I'd like to have something like 100 mobility, 100 recovery, 70 to 80 discipline, and then as much as I can get for the other categories. For my helmet, I'm running 2 of the hand cannon targeting mods from the seasonal artifact. These are great because they only cost 1 energy each. I'm also using Powerful Friends for the extra mobility bonus stat. Keep in mind that you need to have another arc mod slotted somewhere in your build to activate those bonus stats, and we'll be satisfying that with Radiant Light on our boots, which I'll cover in a second. For the gloves, I'm using Hand Cannon Loader and Fastball to throw those grenades further and faster. For the chest, I'm using Unflinching Shotgun Aim, Unflinching Hand Cannon Aim from the seasonal artifact, and High Energy Fire. High Energy Fire gives you a damage bonus anytime you're charged with light. With Hawkmoon, that means that you're getting an easier 3-tap, and the ability to one-hit kill with just 5 stacks of Paracausal Shot instead of 6. It's really helpful in the right situation. For the boots, I'm using Invigoration, which gives us melee cooldown anytime we pick up an Orb of Power, Shotgun Scavenger to get more ammo from each special ammo brick that we find on the ground, and Radiant Light, which makes our teammates get charged with light anytime we cast our super, and we also get plus 20 to our strength stat. This is the other mod in our build that needs to have additional arc mod slotted somewhere in order to get that bonus stat line, and we satisfy that with both Powerful Friends and Invigoration. For our cloak, I'm using 2 bomber mods so that every time I dodge I get a large chunk of my grenade energy back. Keep in mind that you need your class item to be solar energy in order to use this mod. I'm also using Taking Charge, which is how we become charged with light anytime we pick up an Orb of Power. For our subclass options, we're running the Stasis Hunter Revenant, which is required to get that Mask of Bakris helmet to work properly. For our dodge option, we're going with the Marksman's Dodge to reload our weapon anytime we dodge. I find this super helpful, especially with Hawkmoon, since the magazine is pretty small. I'll often get a few kills with Hawkmoon and then shoot the final high damage bullet, and then blink away with Bakris to relocate and have my full magazine ready to start the chain all over again. It's also really helpful for shotgunning because you never have to worry about having your shotty loaded as long as you have some backup ammo and you pull it out before you dodge. For the jump, we're using strafe jump for that incredible directional control in the air. And for our grenade choice, we're using the Glacier Grenade, which is the one that we can destroy to make a stasis explosion that kills anyone close enough to those stasis crystals. More on how that works in a minute. For our aspects, Shatter Dive is the ability that allows us to dive down to shatter those crystals, and Winter Shroud allows us to dodge near enemies to slow them, which pairs incredibly well with our Withering Blade stasis melee, since dodging near an enemy and then hitting them with the throwing star will instantly freeze them. For our fragments, we're using Whisper of Fissures and Whisper of Shards. Fissures increases the size and damage of those crystal explosions, meaning that we can kill from much further. This is the key to getting those huge Drewski dunks. Shards gives us faster grenade regeneration every time we shatter a stasis crystal, which is going to be every time we go for that dunk combo. It's an insanely powerful combination that allows us to shut down many supers by baiting them towards us and then using the combo. Okay, so that covers the build setup. Let's get into how to use this most effectively. The key to success with Hawkmoon is to mentally count your bullets and stacks so that you always know exactly where you stand with regards to the perk. For example, if you fire off 5 bullets and only get 2 stacks of paracausal shot, it's worth reloading after a fight, because the best case scenario is for you to get only 2 more stacks, which will end up at 4, which is not enough for a one-hit kill on the final bullet. However, if you 3-tap someone from a fresh magazine, you'll have 3 stacks, and then you only need to get 3 more stacks to guarantee the potential for that one-hit kill. At this point, I typically wouldn't reload, and I'll see if I can manage to get further stacks in my next fight before landing that high damage shot. I've come across many situations where I have 6 stacks and 2 bullets remaining. Often here, I'll fire off that extra bullet into the ground just to queue up that high damage shot, and then I'll be really patient to go for a headshot on my next bullet, since I know I can get a one-hit kill if I land it. Like I said in the beginning, this gun really rewards precision and situational awareness. It's one of the most fun weapons I've used in a long time. However, if you don't want to worry about all that bullet counting, you can still have a lot of success with the gun if you just use it like a normal hand cannon. Pretty often, that high damage bullet will help you secure an easier kill when you reach the end of your magazine naturally. For example, watch this clip where I'm dueling with some enemies, and then I end up getting a collateral kill from the final bullet. It's just so powerful when you start stacking up that paracausal shot. The next gameplay related topic that I wanted to cover is using that Mask of Bakris helmet. You can use the improved dodge in so many cool ways. One of my favorite things to do with it is to intentionally dodge right past someone to slow them, and then either kill them outright with a shotgun, or hit them with a throwing star to freeze them, and then get free stacks of paracausal shot for Hawkmoon with headshots, or just do a shatter dive to shatter them. You have so many cool gameplay loops here, it's really fun to experiment with it. The next huge piece of your arsenal with this build is the Glacier Grenade plus Shatter Dive combo, also known as the Drewski Dunk. This is one of the most powerful perk synergies in the game right now. I use it to get out of trouble all the time and also to play aggressively. You can throw your grenade and shatter dive it almost instantly afterwards, even from a very small jump. This basically turns it into the best shotgun in the game since you don't even have to aim it and it can kill multiple enemies. It's incredibly effective against people hiding around a corner, as well as for killing roaming supers coming your way, since you can bait them towards you and then dunk on them to kill them. This build is seriously so fun, it's become my favorite way to play PvP lately, and I'm having a really hard time switching to anything else. As promised in the beginning, I also wanted to share a couple tweaks that make this into a seriously good PvE build as well. You can swap your shotgun over to first in last out, the slug shotgun, which happens to be arc energy and therefore benefits from the Mask of Bakris helmet. The new sniper rifle Adored is also a good arc weapon to take advantage of the Bakris helmet, and it's pretty easy to obtain. Dodging by itself gives you that window of 10% damage bonus to enemies when you're using an arc weapon, and if you dodge near an enemy to slow them, you also get an additional 10% damage bonus. This can also be applied by slows that you throw from far away. For example, you can use your throwing stars or dustfield grenades to slow enemies and then still get that damage bonus for PvE. By the way, for this setup, I would recommend changing your fragment setup to the Whisper of Hedrons for the damage bonus you get after freezing a target, and then either Whisper of Refraction to get your dodge back faster after defeating slowed or frozen targets, or Whisper of Durance to make your slow effect from your abilities last longer. For your heavy slot, I would recommend the Fallen Guillotine Sword if you're able to get close to your target, or something like an Interference Grenade Launcher with spike grenades, auto-loading, and full court for those ranged fights. The sword Temptation's Hook is also a cool option here since it's arc energy to take advantage of that Bacchus helmet. Hawkmoon in PvE deals some serious damage on the final bullet, so be careful with that final shot to not waste it. It's almost like having an extra special weapon every time you land that big bullet. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If so, please give it a thumbs up rating and also be sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss my next video. I stream every week over on Twitch. You can catch me live at twitch.tv/pattycakespc. We also have an amazing community Discord with over 6,000 members. It's a great place to meet some new friends and talk about Destiny. That's all for now. Catch you guys next time.